Good morning, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Crypto Morning Coffee. I got my coffee locked and loaded, ready to go, because we are going to talk about the crypto space if we are still on track. And obviously, Bitcoin is leading that space, so most of the on track part basically is regarding Bitcoin and the sentiment, but also the charts. And then we are going to talk one more time about Ecomi and Veve. I have brought out a video yesterday about Ecomi and Veve, but there's still much to discuss, so stay tuned after the intro. Where's my face? Good morning and welcome, everyone. How are you doing? I think I can get this a little bit bigger. There you go. Welcome to the stream. I see a couple of people already joined the chat, so make sure to smash up the like button if you are here and can already hear this. Make sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, and consider if you want to be a sponsor to this channel. Would be a channel membership, a rare hodler, as all the people here behind me. Welcome to the stream. How are you doing? We are T minus a couple of days to Crypto XR, the event for Ecomi and Veve, and hopefully everyone is ready to travel. Orange Glory is here. Here you go. Good morning. Hey, good morning, Orange Glory. Actually, the morning was somewhat an Orange Glory because that was a beautiful sunrise, by the way. Here's the chat box was also a little bit misaligned. There you go. Beautiful sunrise here in Munich. And let's start because some things are happening. So let's maybe start with, why is this up there? Let's maybe start with this here, and that is advertisement. Grayscale is advertising at the what was that? At the Times Square itself. Yeah. So here we see the advertisement. GBTC, Grayscale Bitcoin Trust ETF being advertised. We know that this is the one ETF where we have all of the outflows, but we are seeing that they are being serious, and therefore, I don't know if that's like official or so, but it probably is, right? I mean, the way that this looks, Grayscale Invest, GBTC. Maybe that is something new, something good for them. But let's move on. I wanted to show you something from the past as well, when people thought we on pullbacks and so on that we weren't on track, and this is where people called Bitcoin to be dead at about $6,000. So maybe that's also interesting.
Terrible price action in crypto has given us pause and forced us to ask a tough question. Should we continue to cover Bitcoin? And the answer is sadly no.
Wait a second, was I muted all the time and no one said anything? I just saw that my microphone was turned off. So I don't know if I didn't get any sound here. So maybe you guys confirm that quickly. But that would be bad. I would have done like 3 minutes of talking to myself, but maybe you can confirm that. Oh, I wasn't muted. Okay, so that's good because my microphone showed as muted. So that's good. Once again, Okay. So it sounds weird now. Okay. Let's go with this like it was. This is like it was before. Okay, now the sound should be good again. I think it is that I have a double micro, like somehow my microphone got duplicated, and that shouldn't happen. Now it's hollow robotic. Please ask the Omi questions in Paris for all the Omi fam. I will. This is better. Yeah, that's why it sounds robotic, because I think I had two microphone sources. So this is also, please, if you have right now already, even if we are talking about Bitcoin, if you have any questions that I should ask for Ecomi, like the ones that are most pressing, I will try to ask. I mean, there will hundreds of people will be storming across this booth, but if there's any chance to ask those questions, then I will. So if you have any questions, then make sure to dump them in the chat already. So once again, let's listen to this once more.
Crypto has given us pause and forced us to ask a tough question. Should we continue to cover Bitcoin? And the answer is sadly no.
Nah, I'm up now.
Okay, so the answer at 6,000 was sadly they wouldn't cover Bitcoin anymore. CNBC was that, declaring the death of Bitcoin. So yeah, it is what it is, right? But now that it has been declared as dead way back, we are sitting at about 41,000. Oh, what is that? Orange Glory. So that's distracting me, but let's see. Orange Glory said, what's up with that story about stolen tokens from the business development wallet? Yeah, it's not really stolen. I made a video about it, and you can see it's called The End of the Ecomi FUD. So it's not stolen tokens. It's so some people claim that it's a misappropriation of Ecomi tokens. But it also really isn't, because there was no guideline of correct appropriation in the first place. So what happened is they accidentally or not, but they say accidentally and no one can prove otherwise, they locked 97 billion tokens in a smart contract accident while they were allocating them in this, basically in the seed round, like for the seed investors, right? So they were sending these billions of tokens out that belonged to all of the people like advisors and everything else. And advisors, team members, I don't know, all of the people that would basically get an allocation in the very first round, right, of part of the project. And they somehow fucked that up, right? At least that's what they say. So what they did was they took it from the original business development wallet, as far as I know, and they allocated from that business development wallet to the founders instead, because to the founders, to the advisors, and so on. So basically, David Yu, Dan, Ben Godenzi, Joseph Janik, and some others, right? So otherwise, if they wouldn't have done that, there would be OMI missing, and that OMI would, and then you would have to basically tell founding members and advisors, hey, look, unfortunately we lost your initial tokens, but please stay on board with us, right? And that no one would do that. So that's basically the story around the tokens. So either way, I mean, if they hadn't given these other tokens to them, I mean, the same story would be right now out, just in a different way. Like, hey, how can you trust them doing anything for the token if they didn't even give the promised OMI tokens to the advisors? They should have taken them from their own business development wallet. Right, so now that they did this a couple of years ago already, so no one cared until now in the bear market, but a couple of years ago, everyone is going crazy about this, right? So there was no good way after that accident, right? So smash the like button, everyone. As all the people see here, ICV54 sound good. Okay, thank you for the feedback, by the way. Gflow says we also need to confirm that OMI will in fact be deflationary in nature. That is a very good one. So I will ask that question for sure, Gflow. That is a very good one. Which plans there are to make it deflationary? Because if not, I mean, there's no real reason. Like, I mean, it could still go up in value, but deflationary is the real deal, right? Pro Legendary says greetings from New Zealand. Hey, yo, greetings around the world. That's crazy. I didn't know that you're sitting in New Zealand, to be honest. Midas Touch Green is also here. Destroy the like button. And Ice IV 54 says accidentally locking up a large portion of the OMI supply should have been a clue that their crypto dev team wasn't the greatest. Yeah, but it was also 5 years ago or 6 years ago, something like that. So that was in the absolute infancy. And I mean, it's not the first. Other projects, their bridges get hacked and user funds are stolen. Other projects, they screw up as well. So it's not really an indicator of having a bad dev team, because I think that for a while they didn't have a dedicated dev team to OMI at all, because otherwise they wouldn't have hired a blockchain team, right? So that's definitely the case. But back to keep those rolling, like keep those things rolling, right? Saturday, Auxier for me, see you there. Absolutely, Sven. I'm looking forward to meet you. Let me know if you if you identified me. I think that picture is, I don't know if I can remember that, but we will see. So yeah, by the way, Bitcoin hash rate hit an all-time high, 500 exahashes per second. So we see here that's already going parabolic. Bitcoin hash rate going up, usually price also is going to go up. And why is the hash rate going up so high for Bitcoin? Because the miners are stocking up equipment. The miners are already using that equipment to now pre-halving mine the hell out of Bitcoin, once they're still getting the 6.25 reward and not the 3.1 something. I don't know the clear number block reward, but yeah, it is what it is. They are ramping up big time. And then, yeah, people say backed by nothing. Well, it's backed by I don't know how much energy. That's pretty much it. Yeah, let's move on to a little bit more cycle structure. So are we on point? So we have early tops, right? And now we see here a little bit. So we see here we have the red and green are the Bitcoin tops and bottoms. And then we have the yellow and purple, which are Bitcoin first and second early tops. So, and this is, yeah, maybe... And then the mid top, right? And the mid top is the early top, or was the early top in the cycle before, but not 2 cycles ago. And again, my argument that we are mimicking this cycle here. So what does it say here? This is the only mid top that has ever come outside of an early top, purple and yellow dots. So either the mid top was on the purple 2 cycles before, or it was on the yellow last cycle, right? So what we are seeing here is that we have a perceived, at least perceived early top, but technically we could just rally and break through it, and then it's not an early top anymore. And you see that the second early top basically would be then after the halving, right? So that is definitely, yeah. Definitely something to look out for. That, and I think this coincides very well with the sell in May, go away maybe top here. If this comes in somewhere at around May after the halving. Notice that even though the mid-top in 2019 came an entire year earlier than usual, the cycle top still came on time. So it's nothing out of the ordinary if we have these mid-tops somewhere out of the line, right? This is because the mid-top can come at any point in the middle of the cycle. There is still no evidence to suggest that our cycle is accelerated in any way, other than complex theories. The next second early top is not always a major point. Just look at 2020's purple dot, which was at a lower price than 2019 yellow dot. Bitcoin can still correct, even with ETFs present. This time is no different until it is, and it is not yet. So what does that mean? Yes, we are on track, and that's obviously the purpose of the stream, to highlight that even though that things are not exactly playing out as before. And if you see here, for example, this C crisis dump or so, right? We might not have that because not every time there's a timed black swan to fit the cycle, right? So that is maybe we're just going flat and then rally again. The parabolic phase though has not started. We are not even close yet. We are still in an accumulation phase pre-halving. Now, this brings me to psychology, right? And here we see, right, smart money, institutional investors, and then the public. A bull trap and then fear, capitulation, and despair marks the cycle and goes back again when smart money starts accumulating. So what can we see? We saw institutional investors are we have basically the best evidence ever that institutional investors are coming in, and that is Bitcoin ETFs, right? So we are somewhere at the first sell-off bear trap stage. And then, media attention is already there, but there's no enthusiasm yet. So I think we are at this stage of the first sell-off and bear trap. This is the awareness phase where a lot of people that are already familiar with the market get aware of a lot of things. John says, if Bitcoin breaks all-time high in the future, where do you think Vechain end up with its use case and sponsorship continue to evolve? That's a very good question. I am, as you guys know, bullish on Vechain. Vechain is sitting right now at, I think, 3 cents or so, dollar cents, somewhere there and thereabout. I think that 36 cents is a realistic target, which would be a little bit more than a 10x. Vechain sits at, I think, between $1 and $2 billion. No, actually, it's more like 2-point-something billion dollar market cap. So also that would not be unrealistic to go 10 to 15x. I think in a very strong bull case, it could be more. But what I definitely would not buy as a prophecy is this $20 targets that people are throwing around there. Last time we had $1, $2 targets, and Vechain hit 25 cents or 28 cents. So I would go with a rough estimate of 36 to 50 cents or so, just because they are very strong with the partnerships. They are doing real life stuff. They are doing UFC sponsorship, and it has held. They built it through the bear market. They are going with this whole green story thing that is a big deal. So yeah, I think that Vechain is a good project for the next bull market. John says 30 cents is very reasonable and makes sense. Glad that you see it that way. I have gotten a lot of heat for my price targets that they are too low, because I think some people need price targets beyond $1 to feel comfortable with their Vechain bag. But it's not about that. I think you should never, and you don't do it because you just showed that you can have reasonable targets as well. You should never think in a price target that it needs to hit. So for example, the price target of people thinking about a $1 Ecomi token was born out of the mark of 1 million Vechain, 1 million Ecomi, and then everyone was dreaming of, okay, I have now 1 million Ecomi, and if Ecomi goes to $1, then I'm a millionaire, right? So at the same thing, people that have accumulated about 100,000 Vechain, as I have, more or less, they are like, okay, if Vechain hits $10, I'm a millionaire, right? So these price targets, if you adjust them to the average holder's bag, it's usually these exorbitant price targets usually add up to 1 million. And if you tell them, hey, it's going to hit 30 to 50 cents at the maximum, these people look at their 100,000 Vechain bag, which is then about $2,500 at the moment, and they're like, yeah, but that's only $30,000, right? So that so I will not accept this, right? So you have to check yourself. Why are you really expecting this, or is this hopium in the project, right? So you're buying for example, today or yesterday, I bought 30,000 Metacade, right? So and then people are probably coming out through the absolute parabolic bull phase. They will come out when Metacade is already, it's now at 1 cent. When Metacade is already 10 cents, then people will come out and calculate a 10x from there, right? And it's not impossible for Metacade, because Metacade is only sitting at $20 million market cap or so. But Vechain, to do 100x, for example, that's from $2 billion to $200 billion, right? And the same counts for Ecomi. So yeah. Hey John, by the way, thanks for the subscribe here. Welcome. But yeah, so that is how some people basically make plans for their portfolio, and obviously that screws over all their exit plans, because they are going to, so they are basically where these people get wrecked is the delusion phase, right? So they make their plans in the greed phase, and they get wrecked in the delusion phase, because in the greed phase, they make the plan. Let's say in the greed phase, Vechain is already at 20 cents, and that's where people are like, this can 10x to $2, and then in the delusion phase, they're like, it's really happening because it went to 35 cents. And that's the latest point that I want to sell in this cycle, right? If everyone gets absolutely delusional. Now with Ecomi, it's really hard, because Ecomi still has a lot of delusional price predictions right now. So I cannot even imagine how this is going to look like for Ecomi if we really go parabolic. And then new paradigm, and then the denial of the return, right? So, but we want to sell somewhere here, and this requires us to not fall in love with the price prediction nor with the coin in itself. Vechain is a great coin, but we want to sell it. This is the only reason why we have it. We want to sell it. The guy who messed up in 2020 before 2021 bull run and sold at the enthusiasm phase. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you can sell too early, definitely. But it also depends on the coin, because if you have a meme coin that pumped like crazy and you are not taking profits already now, clearly a meme coin can go another 5x or 10x, you never know, right, where you are, but you cannot count on it. So you need to lock in profits at coins that are likely to have a very short lifetime. But there are other coins that you have as a long-term hold, and if you sell them off right when there is a little bit of enthusiasm, that's too early maybe, but the chart will tell you, because the chart will look like this, right? So a slow up creeping is not the reason to sell just yet, in my opinion. I think a vertical green big dildo rocket that goes super high and then starts to getting a very long wick together with an oversold RSI, and that on a weekly, that is a good indicator, right? No one went broke from taking profits. Exactly. So, and this is something that we really need to see. If you doubled your money and you sell, you can't be sad if it goes like 20x afterwards. Yes, you can say, hey, look, I made a mistake. Maybe I sold too early, but you still doubled your money. And if that's $100, great. You have $200 to work with now. Find a fucking new opportunity, right? But if it's $1 million and you double that, clearly you will be very sad if it goes 20x afterwards, but you will never have sold the 20x, right? So you can ask yourself, for example, this is the problem, right? So I think it's not even about such a strong case where you sell so early that the 20x is afterwards. But if you have reached a reasonable market cap with a coin, so let's say that's a meme. So for example, a bonk that enters the top 100 or top 50 and you sell it, you can't be sad about it, even if it goes double again, right? Because you will not hit maximums. Yeah, exactly. Go to shitcoins, maybe owe me. Yeah, and the good thing is if you did double or triple or 6x or I don't know what, you can also suddenly have some money to work with to scatter out into other good projects. And whenever it goes like crazy, you take out at least your initial investment to buy another coin that didn't take off yet, and you go again, right? So if Metacade does a couple of X's, I probably take out my initial investment and I find a new coin, and the rest is a Metacade moonbag, right? So this is going to happen. I don't need then Metacade to succeed to be successful in the market, right? Taking percentages and leaving a little for a moonbag. So for example, what did I do with GFAL? I put in some dollars and I took out my initial investment, and now I have a free GFAL bag. And if it goes crazy, I'm very happy because all is profit. And I will do the same with almost everything. The only thing where I don't feel the necessity to do that at any certain point that doesn't look like close to the top to me is Bitcoin. Because if Bitcoin fails, everything fails, right? Yeah, the ticker for Metacade is MCADE, M-C-A-D-E. I bought 30,000 MCADE, that's about $300 or so. It's a total bag of $350. That's not a big deal for many people. For me, it's just fine. It's just what's that, like 2% of my portfolio or so. So that's a fine allocation for me for a small degen coin with higher risk, right? It's not a big deal. Moving on, so this is the latest data from last week about the spot ETFs, and we see here that the inflow into the spot ETFs is pretty high. We see here how, for example, BlackRock went from 228 Bitcoin to 28,000 Bitcoin in 1 week. That is a nice bunch of money. Fidelity, which by the way, Fidelity is custodying themselves, so they are less likely to depend on Coinbase, or they are not depending on Coinbase like the others, just keep that in mind. Also, from 440 Bitcoin to almost 25,000 Bitcoin. So that's a nice inflow, right? And then Bitwise went from 57 Bitcoin to almost 9,000 Bitcoins, and so on. So all of these had a massive inflow, except GBTC that saw a massive outflow, and a total of 52,000 Bitcoin. It's not enough though, and I think it could be even reallocation, to be honest. Because look, if you look at this is more or less the two here. They have very low fees, the first three, and the inflow is it's a little bit more than the 52,000, right? So obviously, if you have GBTC now at 1.5% fee, what do? You sell it and you buy one of the with the lower fees, right? Especially Fidelity, because they are guarding their own Bitcoin. Yeah, Metacade is the new OMI. Yeah, probably. Hopefully not. But yeah, then again, we take profits, right? What do you think of the Metacade team? So far, I think that the founder, CEO, is very transparent. He does the AMAs himself. He seems to be very based, seems to be very humble, so to say. They are very transparent on their vesting and like the circulating supply is a bonus, because they have like 80% of their tokens are in circulating supply, and according to them the rest is in a what is that, liquidity, like a staking pool. So it really doesn't seem to me that there is much to dump in the markets. And they also said in the AMA, or he said in the AMA, no, he said that in the interview with Ron's Crypto Therapy, that that they do not have really large VCs. They might have large whales, but they do not have large VCs. So that is pretty good if there's no venture capital dumping on people. Ice Ivy says, I got burnt by holding OMI and other alts too long last cycle. This cycle, I won't watch my portfolio drop 90%. Might transfer all into Bitcoin and stables. Yeah, probably the best way is somewhere where you feel that the top is there to take profit. And I'm not saying nail the top, just feel that we're getting overheated, and there are also markers. I pointed that out. Let's do this quickly for Bitcoin, right? I'm going to show you what I'm looking at, and then you can still say, oh yeah, bullshit, right? I'm looking for something else. But I'm going to show you what I'm looking at, and what will be an indicator for me is the weekly. And I will be looking at the log chart. Let's get rid of the lines and just use some indicators. Oh, that's actually not the log chart. That's the log chart. So yeah. And so one of them is RSI. And cycle timing together. It's not only RSI, right? It needs to be RSI and cycle timing together. So as you can see here, the Bitcoin top is marked by the second big spike in the RSI. And here we have many spikes in the RSI, so we need the timing. So it needs to be end of 2024 or even in 2025, plus a very high value of RSI, which we see here, a second peak, and here, if you call this a first peak, then here's your second. And then in this cycle again, we have a first peak here, you see it here. And then the second peak, high RSI, which is basically the top. You would have sold here, but still right? You wouldn't nail the top, but you would be somewhere here. And so on. So a better one for that is the TSI. So let's pull up the TSI. And this goes all together with, like, there's some multiple of factors, right? Actually that needs to be on the monthly. So TSI on the monthly, and here you can see it also with the RSIs even better, right? The RSI on the monthly is the best. So here you see it again, first peak, second peak, first peak, second peak. So the second peak is 2 times the second peak in the RSI is the real deal. Only this cycle, we basically had the first and then the second peak didn't react in the RSI anymore. It's barely there, right? First peak, second peak, it's barely there. And also, had you sold on this one, you would be fine, right? But this is all hindsight. Now look at the TSI, and this is the most accurate that I could find. Bull cross means the bull market started, so that's where you would buy, right? And then bear cross You see this bear cross here would make you sell here. Somewhere here. You would not hit the top, but you would be very close, right? Okay, then bull cross, you would buy here. Bear cross, you would sell here. Okay? So you would have sold also not the blow off top or the top, but you would have sold here. And you would have like sold before another 50% drawdown. So now we had the bull cross, so you would have bought here, which was at 27,000, not at 15,000, but at 27,000. And now we're going, right? And we basically can ride this thing until we see the bear cross or a closing in on the bear cross. Because actually you can already see that it's coming to the end when this tops out. Okay, so you see tops out. Yeah. That is this top out in the TSI is very accurate. So this is something that I'm looking for together with the timing. And the timing, I will rely on stuff like this here, right? Stock to flow model. And I will see, this is a journey. This is not me having experience in all of the cycles, because I was not there in the first 2 bull cycles, right? So I think this is something where I will document my way of taking profits and investing here on this channel. I will let you know what I will be doing and when I took some profits, and I hope you also let me know, because together I think we can find this point where it's not too early and not too late, right? Together with a lot of analysis, we can do that, right? So I think that is something good. I think the biggest movement will come this October. I have a weird feeling. Yeah, I think that's a great feeling, because that is long enough past halving and it's still pretty good, right? Nico, what is going on? GM, let's go. Pro Legendary said, sold all my Solana last week at 110 and bought a Metacade, planning to buy more. The bull case for Solana I see is probably another 5x from the top. Better chance of gaining more with Metacade. Yeah, 100%. I mean, this is clear. If you are holding a super large cap and you're holding like the top 5 or top 10, and you're hoping for something beyond a 10x, already a 10x super difficult up there, but you're hoping something beyond, it's not gonna happen. You need to look at the lower market caps. And as I said before, it's not less risky, right? So what's going to happen? Here, this is a combination of the market cycle model and the stock to flow model. The stock to flow model is the gray line, and stock to flow model basically predicts the price according to the supply shock in Bitcoin. So we see here that is that is going at somewhere beyond 500,000. Also keep in mind, we did not reach the previous price before the adjustment. The stock to flow did imply a beyond 100,000, right? So it was readjusted because I remember that stock to flow predicted 150,000. So we cannot calculate on this coming true, but maybe half of that. And right now you see we are in accumulation phase, and this accumulation phase is going on 2 more months, or 2 more months until the halving and the rest of April. And then after that there is a readjustment in price towards the upside. We see that this always happens here, and here. So we're creeping up, and then we go explosive for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 months at least. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 months, so a full year of full-blown parabolic move bull market. So, and this is something where you can already say, once this red dot prints, I will at least give it 6, 7, 8 months to pump, right? Because that's what we always saw. Until I see a yellow dot, or until I see, let's say, enough red dots, right? So it's 9 red dots, 10 red dots or so. Because that also, no matter what other indicators show, we will piece all of this evidence together like a crime investigator and see, are we at this point of happening, right? Is this all the indicators, do they come together, right? And lagging indicators, I mean, they're lagging indicators, right? They can only show you what already has happened. So we need to also have predicting indicators like this to nail as close as possible, and just write it down. You will not sell the top. If you have that, you will not be disappointed afterwards, right? If you say, I want to sell now, I have a good feeling about this, okay, let's do it, right? You will not be poor by taking a 6x on your investment. You feel you sell, better sell. Okay, you took a 6x, be happy about it. You 6x your money, no one on Wall Street does that, right? And then, but you also will sell. I sell at the 6x and it's probably not the top. And then when it goes up, you can say, I was right, it was probably not the top, but I'm fine, right? So, and that is where we are going to head, and it's going to be super difficult. So we will do this together. Sounds like an anonymous alcoholics or stuff like that, right? But anyways, let's take a quick look. Unfortunately, I have to leave a little bit earlier today, but let's take a quick look here on Ecomi. So actually, is that the current chart? Oh yeah, it is. Okay, so Ecomi is down. Ecomi is down bad. But we saw a pretty big spike in buy volume here. So someone bought a decent amount of, by the way, if we get a bull cross on the TSI here, the last time we got that, there was a pretty big pump. So are we headed for a pump exactly where we marked it? So here in the next days where we say, okay, Crypto XR is going on, that could be happening, right? Good morning, Far. Trucking Hand says, I'm down on my OMI, but just holding. I have been allocating new funds into other alts. That is good. Trucking Hand says, I wanted to put 200,000 in BTC last summer. Wife said no. Oh, man. Wow. That $200,000. That's quite a bit. Yeah, would be, what was that? Last summer was Bitcoin bottom? Somewhere. Okay, so you would be up like 3x now, not too shabby. John says, my biggest bag right now is Silica, probably, simply because I think it's easy 3x. My one big bag that could end up not being what I thought is STG. I plan to sell that after the layer 0 airdrop. Oh, yeah. Okay, STG. Okay, STG. I am not familiar with STG, to be honest, so I cannot really comment on that too much. Let's quickly talk about some Veve metrics here. So we see Bezosman still buying, bought another 671 collectibles. He's at 43,000. That's pretty big. This wallet emerged new apparently and just jumped to 341. Which is impressive. This is 1.6k collectibles. Either it's new in the top 500 or it is new at all, which I cannot really know. And so the Great Pumpkin is apparently a new, closer to whale. And then we have Lighton T that bought another 175. And these purchases outweigh all of the top sales. So there are a couple of people that are still getting out of the market in Veve, but I think it seems to be okay. Also, you need now a couple of more collectibles. So before that was something like 1344. Now you need 4 more collectibles to be in the top 500. So overall, the top 500s are growing. A couple of people, though, move down the ladder to other places. This might be rebalancing. Some people try to get out of the market, but these rankings, they are important. They should be part of the app, in my opinion. Yeah, then Crypto XR, I made a video. Make sure to check it out. I talk a lot about Ecomi and Veve there. Duck and Cover is here. Good morning. Looking forward to meet you at Crypto XR. I think you're going, right, Duck and Cover? Trucking Hank says, maybe you missed my first comment. Did you see Foster on Veve Magic's channel? I started watching it yesterday in the evening, but it was too late, so I'm going to watch the rest today. I saw the first 10 minutes, so nothing really has been said before. It was with My Collectibles, and who was the other guy? I don't remember. But I will watch it today probably. This we already had. I covered this all in the in my video. So overall, I'm going to ask some questions like, what's the plan to make OMI deflationary? I will ask that question. We know that Foster said yesterday on this talk, I already read that as a spoiler, that accessibility and utility are basically the focuses for Ecomi this year. It's about time, I'd say. And I'm going to ask when OMI to NFT is, if that's still on the roadmap, if that's still a plan, OMI to NFT together with Burns. And I'm also going to ask like what their process is with exchanges, if they're just waiting for exchanges to list them for free, or if they're actually paying to get listed, which would be what I would expect, that they take money in hand to get OMI listed on exchanges and make it accessible, or if there's another plan to make it accessible via the app itself or something like that. But I also want to know, a straight up, very honest question that I could make is like, are we getting screwed, or is there like a legit chance that we get something out of our OMI investments, which we hold for so many years, right? That David to ask when OMI to NFT and big exchanges. No, I'm not going to kidnap David. I think it should be fine to just ask him and not do anything to him. That should never be a suggestion, guys. What the fuck? But I know what you mean. We need to get a conversation with David going. Duck and Cover says, I'm going to ask why the Sorcerer's Apprentice Mickey still hasn't been burned. Why not? Yes, do that. I'm going to ask these questions. Maybe also a little bit in the direction of veveverse. So what's taking so long with more beta users? I understand that you need time, and I wanted to have them take a lot of time. I said this myself, a lot of time, like wait until the end of 2024 when the alts start really going crazy, and then launch the veveverse, right? But you can have already beta users now, like invite more beta users. Why is it taking so long to get more beta users? That I don't understand. And when next Marvel Red Metallic? That's also a good question. We only have the Doc Ock, right? That's the only one. I have that one because it's the first one. I hope they drop more of these, because that will give more value to the first one, I believe. Anyways, guys, unfortunately, I have a very early hard stop right now. So I have to go right now. So guys, wherever you are on the world, have this great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. Thank you all for joining here. We will have another Crypto Morning Coffee tomorrow, very likely. And what did I say? Wherever you are on the world, have this great morning, evening, day, night, or afternoon. And I see you in the next